Here I am once again, feeling lost, but now and then. Shout out to Victorious. Great theme song. You don't have to be afraid to put your dreams in action. Bar. I really came on here to talk about failing my first exam. The inevitable happened. And the sky did not fall, did not die. All things considered, I feel okay. But it definitely was a little kick to the stomach because I can honestly say that I feel like I could have done things differently, first off, for this exam, but I don't feel like I could have done things drastically differently. So first I should talk about how I prepared for the exam. I did my usual studying, and I even felt like I put in a little bit of overtime. The problem was I put in a little bit of overtime, and it was a lot more material this test than what normally the tests look like. My friend was in town, and we got the results back. And I saw the score, and I was like, uh-oh. I didn't immediately cry because, I don't know why. I just, couldn't allow myself to. I really wanted to because I was like, let me just cry and get this over with. But I couldn't do it. But then I went to my friend Tati's room. She gave me a hug, and as soon as she gave me a hug, I was like instant breakdown. I think it was cathartic to get the emotions out, and I think feeling that physical support, a hug was definitely the catalyst for releasing my emotions. So yeah, all things considered, I feel okay. I really am the type of person who is when bad things happen to me, I dwell on them for a few hours, and then usually I can repress it. Probably not good, but I feel I process it semi. But in med school, you have I failed on Friday. We have new material that was already released, so you kind of just had to make a new study plan and just get started on the new material. I really couldn't do anything about it. I feel okay. I have a great support system. So my friends, my family, and I texted my family hey, just failed my exam, don't really want to talk about it right now, and they respected that. I've talked to them since, my mom, my sister, and my dad. And yeah, they just were well, we love you no matter what, whatever. And granted, they don't really know what that means, I feel to fail. So I can retake the test. I'll retake it in January. So that also made me feel a little bit anxious because I was more so upset about having to retake it rather than oh, I failed, which I was upset about failing, but I walked out of there kind of I don't know if that went well. And it didn't. I've taken now, this is my 4th test. Yeah, I've taken 4 tests now. The first 3, the first one I walked out not quite sure. Second one I walked out ooh, crushed it. Third one I walked out not quite sure. And so I walked in all those times also not feeling sure. And I think that was indicative of why I would pass, but by a few points, the margin was never super wide. So I felt it was almost inevitable for me to fail, which sounds awful. It should not be, but there is a stigma around failing in med school because we're all super high achieving. Everybody, I don't really consider myself type A at all, but there's a lot of type A people used to being top of their class, valedictorian, smartest person in the room. So we have been told you can fail, and it is almost inevitable to fail at least one exam, but nobody really tells you how to handle the emotions of failing an exam. So yeah, I think I'm doing okay, all things considered. I wanted to make this video so that I could talk about failing because I feel med students don't talk about it enough, and people do fail. I know classmates who have failed previous exams or failed this exam. And it was a hard exam. So I am not going to beat myself up about it. I'm just going to change the way I study. Putting in more time is an option. But I'm really trying to work smarter instead of having to put in 50 more hours. But this test, the material is like a lot as well. So I'm just like trying to figure out how I'm going to change my study habits. There is like an underlying sense of like, ooh, cannot fail this next one though. It's definitely a humbling experience to fail and know that you have to like take another exam in literally 2 weeks and figure your stuff out. On top of that, I feel like a certain pressure as a Black student in medicine, as a Black woman in medicine. Like, there is sometimes a pressure being a underrepresented group in medicine to perform. Like, I try not to internalize that. It's been put on me. It's not necessarily something that has to ring true, that I do have to be better or that I can't fail because I'm like a Black student in medicine. But I think oftentimes like Black people, regardless of what space you're in, feel like you have to represent for like the race, which is crazy. Talking to a lot of marginalized groups or like underrepresented groups in whatever space that you're in, I know that is like a feeling that a lot of people feel. You know, I mostly talk to like my Black peers, so I really can only speak for Black folk. That even when I told my friends that, oh, I'm gonna do this video, I'm failing, they kind of were like, girl, are you sure you want to do that? Like, do you want your classmates seeing that you failed? And I think that it's like freeing to speak your truth and that you shouldn't feel bad about failing because everybody fails. We just don't talk about it. So I'm hoping that this conversation will also open up more med students feeling comfortable about failing. Like, it doesn't reflect on what type of provider that you're going to be. I still believe that I'm going to be a great provider. I still believe that I'm super smart and intelligent and going to be successful in life. I think walking out of this experience still keeping that positive image of me intact is like the most important part about failing. Just wanted to come on here and share what it's like to fail. It's not fun, but again, it's not the end of the world. Granted, I've been told that I handle bad situations pretty well, and I think that I do, because I just don't think that like I'll be down on my luck forever, and I know that I'll pass this next exam because like, one, there's really no choice, and two, like, I'm changing the way that I go about the information. I am putting in more time, at least for this exam, until I figure out how to work smarter and not harder. And med students fail. Like, everybody fails at least one exam, and this was my exam, and I will not be failing anymore, fingers crossed. So just know that if you are failing your MCAT scores, if you're an M1 who has recently failed, or a pre-med student who has recently failed, like, failure, as cliche as it sounds, is a part of life. I need to come to terms with it. And this was kind of like a long tangent, but I felt like my YouTube journey wouldn't be authentic if I did not share that I failed, because I could have just kept it to myself. I thought about it because I was like, dang, I really do I want to like air out all my business, but I'm doing a YouTube channel, so obviously I'm already airing out like all my business and show my hardships, as well as like, which I show my hardships because every week is like damn near a hardship, but yeah, show my struggles as well as my wins. So that's really all I came on here to say, was that I failed, but it's okay because life goes on and I will not be failing anymore. Well, maybe I will, but no, I don't really know like how to even like go about that. Like, I shouldn't really say I'll never fail again, but I'm hoping that I won't, because like, who wants to like fail again? Nobody. If it happens, it happens, but it won't happen. Anyways, yes, thank you guys for watching, and my next video will probably be regular content. I might do like a study with me, since I will be like studying a lot for this next test. We're doing like drugs, and well, we're doing really pathogens, and like antibiotics and stuff. So gross, I hate it, but the show must go on. So anyways, thanks y'all for watching.